Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to those of you in the Central Time Zone. Welcome to this month's edition of the Wild Wednesday webinar. We've got a good one for you, and we've got a lot of people joining us today for this presentation. It is being recorded, and the recording will be available at MIPA's website, mipa.org/WednesdayWebinars.html for you to listen to at any other time. At the end of the session, you'll be directed to a survey form. If you know your PIN number and include that, I will submit your information to PPAI so that you can get CAS credit for today's presentation. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll find a chat box. In that chat box, you can enter any questions that you have for Mary during her presentation, and I'll be monitoring that, and we'll jump in every now and then with your questions if Mary hasn't noticed them. I've been very fortunate to be a good friend of Mary Dobsch for more years than either one of us want to admit now.
Don't tell.
Mary's the president of the Chest, a very innovative company in Missouri, and they put together a great series of creative things that you can add to really add some panache and profits to your efforts. I'm going to let you get started with it, Mary. I'll be just sitting back and listening to you and enjoying. And everyone, thanks for joining us. Everyone, here's Mary Dobsch.
Well, good morning, and thank you very, very much for the opportunity. I guess, first of all, the heading package or perish, I don't certainly want to make this sound like we're all in peril, but I guess one thing we do want to bring up is the fact that it certainly gives you an edge, and hopefully throughout this presentation you'll be able to pick up on that a little bit and understand the value. Of course, my screen isn't going where I want it to go. That's interesting. Let's see here.
It worked in rehearsal, folks.
Yeah, it did. Let's get rid of this and put. Now you get to look at my nice screen. Now we see you got to hear about me. Unfortunately, Paul's right. I've been in the industry for a long time, and that 30 years is close to 40 years. And not that means anything other than the fact I've seen a lot of things happen in our industry, and I've seen some true creativity from the distributor side, and we've been very fortunate that we've been able to facilitate that for you. I have served on the PPAI board, and that's quite a bonus in seeing the big picture of the industry and see what's happening. And I believe that no matter when you do stuff like that, you get so much more back out of it. And I think it gave me a true insight as to what's happening in this industry and what works. And I was born and raised in Washington, Missouri, which is where I am now. And the issue with it is I think this industry has been able to let me do so much, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And I love what I do, and hopefully that will come across in what I get to present to you today. I guess, first of all, the packaging is what we're all going to talk about today. And if you go to Money Watch's article from October 9th of 14, these are some of the world's most iconic packages of this time. So, of course, you know, the thing is the Happy Meal package, the iPhone package, and, of course, as a kid, who didn't remember the Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup? And most importantly, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a Tiffany box. And who has branded themselves better with their package than Tiffany? We had actually been fortunate enough, we've been asked to give a package to the SAC show in that's out in Long Beach. And so we actually created a package that looked the Tiffany blue color, and it was kind of did resemble a Tiffany's box. And inside of it, someone was gracious enough to donate the nuts that was giving to everyone that was there. And it was funny because people said from afar, they go, why is there a Tiffany's box in that booth? And it's just amazing what that branding can do and what can that do for your client. And then more recently, of course, we've all seen that Amazon box show up with that, of course, their smile on it. And it's amazing. That hasn't been around, 10 years? But that is currently an icon. So I guess our challenge today is, if these things have done that for these people, what can we do for your client to get that same recognizable feature? And quite honestly, I think all of these are a very positive reflection on that particular company. And I guess we all want to talk about the perception here. If you give someone a gift, and I think we can all agree a promotional product is truly a gift, when we give someone a gift, isn't it usually wrapped? And it's carrying a theme. If you look at the one on the left-hand side, that's very earthy, it's very homemade, but it's still quite the gift. And the one on the right side, some little kid's going to be very happy with that. So in taking it a step further, what is that theme that your client wants to portray? And of course, would you rather send your client this? And of course, it does look beat up, and for some reason, to me, it reeks of work. It doesn't look like it's fun and inviting. So, or would you rather send them this? A fun night. It's with Infinera. And I guess my thing is, when you get an invitation or you get an announcement, what is the first impression you get? I guess my thought with this one is it looks kind of business-like, but it looks like it might be fun. And that's the whole thing, is we get to do these projects, and the first thing that comes to my mind is, I wish I could be a part of that. I wish I was invited, because it sends such a message that it's a very positive experience. And what I always like to compare it to is that number 10 envelope. In today's world, all your clients are sending out invitations, they're sending out statements, they're sending out letters. And in putting it in a number 10 envelope, the current successful response rate for a number 10 envelope is 1%. And I guess, too, when you get the mail, you see that envelope, and right away you think, oh, gosh, is it another bill, or what do I have to do? It is not a real pleasant thought process. So your client can do that, or if they spend a little more money, or sometimes a lot more money, they can get right away, there's an excitement created about this new product, this new service, this new whatever it is, and people are going to be much more open to understanding it and actually reading the information that's being provided. Step one, what is it your clients start trying to do? You know, they have a goal. You know, I guess we sell a lot of pens in this industry, and it's a great product. But if you look at the handout of a pen, how can you measure the success of that project? And it's kind of difficult. I was just on the phone with a different distributor earlier this morning in California, and his comment was, I never let my customer hand out a pen without a card. He says, because their logo is on the pen, it says nothing about them. What do they stand for? What are they better at? What is their mission? What do they have that's better than their competition? He said, so I always have that pen attached to a note card. In its own way, that is a package, and he is setting his client apart. So what is your client trying to accomplish? Do they want more sales? Do they want brand recognition? We all want more customers. Are they trying to draw traffic to the website, traffic to a specific event they're having? And most importantly, we all want to educate the potential clients on the brand. So I guess all of these things are goals, but most importantly, how easy is it for your customer to source a commodity promotional product on the internet? And I think when we're all short on time, if there isn't a loyalty to someone, that does become the easy out. You know, it's 5 till 5, you need to get something done. What an easy way to take care of that problem of needing a pen. Then we have to implement the plan, and that's where being a consultant is so much more important than being an order taker. This is where you get to actually understand what it is they're trying to accomplish, and how do you give them the promotional ideas, the literature, and and the venue to get it to their customers. You know, there's different ways promotional products are delivered. They're handed out, which is probably the most frequent. Direct mail is all of a sudden fashionable again. It's not like the mail is always bills anymore or credit card applications. Direct mail in our industry, our revenue for direct mail postage in 2014 was double what it was in 2013, meaning all of a sudden people are interested in making that bulky package delivered in the mail. And the parcel service, whether it be FedEx, UPS, whatever the case might be, it's certainly going to make a statement. And this is where we get to the fun part. And first of all these case histories are fabulous. They're very thought-provoking. But the most important thing is the chest doesn't create these things. We are allowed to produce them for the distributors who are so creative that come up with them. So this one, I love this case history. Packaging can accomplish a multitude of benefits. It creates an image and brand recognition. And if you could scroll in real tight on this, what they have given out here is a tumbler, sunglasses, a power charger, and a sleeve for an iPad. And so the copy on each one is so powerful. By the sunglasses, it says, "Never lose sight of our customers." The drinkware says, "Don't let your brand become disposable like a paper cup. Make sure it's seen over and over like this tumbler." The power charger, "Keep your brand powerful. Don't let it die a slow death like an old cell phone battery." On the iPad sleeve, "Continue to embrace technology. It's here to stay, so you can't run from it anymore. Your clients certainly aren't." And what a powerful way, again, it includes 4 promotional products. It's a multi-product presentation, but it's something that no one is going to get that package and not take it very, very seriously. So I guess my thought process is, this is if it's trying to create a brand and show the importance of it, they nailed it on this project. And then another thing that we talk about is how to inform it. Back to that project that can only have a pad print on it, such as the product on the right-hand side is a custom USB inside there. So you can provide product information or company services that the simple promotional product cannot carry. So on the right-hand side, I'm amazed that USBs are still so hot in our industry, in fact everywhere, because I really thought that they were going to be, just like everything else, it would be replaced with something. We have an order in-house every week that we're packaging USBs. And I think that the thing is, USB by itself, it doesn't tell much. My thing is, if you're handing it out at a trade show, it ends up in the bottom of the bag. And if I get it in the mail in a Jiffy envelope, it's like, why do I have this? And what's in it for me? You know, why is it important for me to actually see what's on the USB? Well, in doing this company, NIF Group, they're all about helping you out with program benefits, how to help your client. And so if I got this in the mail, and I'm sure you'll agree, you're going to take a second look at it. Before you throw it away, before you do something, you're going to actually take a look-see at this, and chances are you're going to go a step further, because they're telling you why it is beneficial for you to go a step further. And the one on the right, they certainly did a unique job of taking the information. Are you the data visualization done yet? On the outside of the box, they took all the copy and included it in the package. So once you open the package, you had the whole story already. And of course, they have the phone that can hook up to your iPhone and the hot sauce. So just a totally different approach. To instead of printing literature that would go inside, they made the package the literature. And if you're imprinting the package anyway, you're really saving a step and you're saving some bucks for your client. And one of the things I hear people say is, if you're actually getting, traditionally, a lot of the customers will have a literature budget or a catalog budget separate from the promotional product piece. So a lot of times you're actually able to capture from budgets you currently don't. So there's more money there to be had. You just need to be creative in how you can get a hold of it. And this is another piece, is if you're trying to deliver something, I mentioned the Jiffy Pack, the promotional product in a creative package is certainly going to get more attention. This is to ensure the product is delivered directly to the customer. And those of you who do a lot of direct mail, you're familiar that USPS is now trackable. And I think the kick that we're seeing that's a benefit, if it's a small enough product, the postal system is not going dimensional weight as FedEx and UPS is. So we've done a lot of comparisons. There's a big chunk of times, even in going to a bigger parcel, it's still cheaper with the post office. And the way I look at it is if your client spends less money on postage, there's more money for them to spend on something else. So this was an interesting order. These are special gloves, and the whole thing is they're going to point you in the right direction. Everything should be at your fingertips. So if you can visualize it, the gloves actually get slid into the package, and it's folded shut, shrink wrapped, and mailed out. And again, you defy anyone to get something like that and not actually read it. The other thing I'm sure you see with the whole world is now digital printing. So 10 years ago we talked about how many colors of silk screening will it take. On anything that's a smaller package, you know that 4-color process is just a given, and look how it jumps on the package. And again, it certainly gives your client's message in a very classy manner. To deliver a gift, sometimes we're fortunate enough to work with some really big hitters, but as you can see, to hand out the sweatshirt, the Super Bowl hat, and I think there was a very expensive gift card from Nike that was placed inside of each of these. You throw a little tissue paper into a regular box. We put, as you can see, the outside of the box was silk screened in a gray, and then we did a spot mount to the lid to incorporate the 4-color process so we could still digitally print it and send a message. And then this was sent out to 400 very important people that were attending the Super Bowl that were corporate sponsors. On the bottom picture, and I apologize for the poor res on that one piece, basically it says thank you for being our customers, and on the right-hand side illustrates the foam insert tray that houses a coffee mug and then the power charger. Again, it shows that it was very important that this was presented in a specific manner, and one of the things you don't see on this because it would give too much of a reflection, all these boxes can be shipped as is. What we recommend is shrink wrapping them, and then what we do is just put the address label on the outside of the box. And so when they get it in the, whether UPS or in the mail, they peel off the shrink wrap. The box is not dirty, it's not beat up, and there's no address label on it. It's just very personal. So again, it makes the gift experience that much stronger. To protect the product, a lot of times you need to come up with a way, especially if it's glassware, you need to make sure everything arrives in good condition. The one on the left just happened to be a sample kit. And how many of your clients require sample kits that their sales force is taking out? And that traditionally, sometimes that promotion is only going to last a limited time frame. So they need something that is traditionally disposable that they're not spending a huge amount of money on, but it does reflect on their product very positively. And that's what happened on the left, and unfortunately I don't have the barbecue sauce that they were promoting, but that's what went inside, and so this was a sample kit for the BH's Passport of Flavor for them to take out and show to their clientele. The piece on the left, love it, it was TW Telecom, and we actually, this is an ongoing project, and as you can see, a fresh apple gets placed into the box, but the card that goes inside, again, talk about getting a response from someone. The top says it's crisp, innovative solutions, but the card basically on the inside states apples are simple, yet they contain the life-sustaining complex nutrients of nature. TW Telecom is simply the leading provider, and then it has keep the apple as our gifts. But meet with us, and we will give you 24 more apples, a $25 gift card to your nearest Apple store. And then it has call, and then what's kind of great about digital printing is we actually plug in different phone numbers depending on which particular sales rep is handing that group out. So one thing we can't forget is that variable data opportunity, because let's face it, if it has our name on it, it means so much more to us because they took the time to send it to us personally. invite guests to an event. And this kind of goes back to what I had started talking about earlier. If you think about it, you get invited to an event. It's okay. It's a nice little invitation. But if you got the invitation on the left, I mean, this was a New Orleans event, and it was a round table. And, of course, to carry that Mardi Gras theme, we printed the invitations on that looked very classy with the Mardi Gras look, and then there's a mask and the beads inside. And this is a great example of saying, hey, I want to go to this. And the cans themselves are direct mailable, as are. It's kind of fun. You pop the top, and you reveal the information inside. And we've done a lot of these with, casino themes. You know, how many people do that type of event and throw the custom imprinted poker chips inside. We've actually put them with the aprons inside that a dealer might wear. So all imprinted items that you guys provide, but we're putting it in the manner that gives it the most impact. And the one on the right, great, love the case history. It's actually a card where the sunglasses punch out and they become luggage tags. And we actually included, I'll just look on the back side, that actually is the variable data that was placed on the back of each one. If you look at the number on the bottom, that 2472, that is actually the room number that person is staying. This is Hewlett-Packard's annual meeting, and so you had to actually qualify to be allowed to attend, and they were different levels of attendees. So we actually color-coded the printing for example, the blue was a VIP, but the real VIPs got the gold sunglasses. So the HP had the whole hotel, and the distributor did indicate that it was over 100. They were getting luggage, they were getting all kinds of different things sent to them for this. So it was a huge expenditure for Hewlett-Packard. But they said the thing that made the big impact is when they got out of their cab in the Bahamas, the bellman was waiting there, took their luggage, and knew exactly what room to take it. So what a powerful way of making those people feel special. So again, it's very simple. We did run into a little bit of a challenge because some of the, when we got the drop ship list or the list to actually personalize each of the luggage tags, some of them came in foreign languages, and I thought, okay, Hewlett-Packard knows English. So first we thought, okay, how do we get the right addresses? Do we try to Google it and translate it? And of course we didn't. We said, hey, if we really need to do this, you need to make this we need to know how to print it. So they did actually go back and fix it for us. This is a way to educate. This is a great case history on United Airlines. Of course, they found a way to make us another revenue. We're all looking for new revenue streams. They were going to start selling power chargers on the airplanes. So, and I don't know, I think this is kicked off, so if any of you have been approached with that. But what they needed is a vehicle to get a power charger in the hands of the flight attendants so they would actually know all the information about the power charger, and if they were going to be the individuals that were promoting these, what's the information they needed. So very simple. We just did a 4-color process box with an insert tray, and unfortunately the visual does not show the power charger that's under the flight attendant guide. And then the thanks is a thank you for taking this project on, and then this was actually sent out to all the different airports and given out to all the different airline personnel. But again, there was going back to the goals, the goal was how do we educate the staff on how to use the product. And again, perfect way to do that. And sometimes, again, is to hand out multiple products. And I'm not sure what the deal is. We're seeing more and more states and cities doing a lot of tourism type promotion. So I'm not sure if that means people are traveling more or they're hoping people will travel more. But as you can see, Virginia is for lovers, and I'm not from Virginia, so I think this is all about how to husk or shell different oysters and things of that type, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. The one I can relate to is the wine bottle opener in the top, because that's something I'm quite familiar with. But again, it's just different pieces, and again, a great thing to hand out to entice people to come to their state. On the right-hand side, it's a kind of how many clients have membership packages. So once people sign up to be part of that group or to become a member of that organization, how is that information relayed to them? And so this particular thing, it's kind of interesting. Once a month, we get a list of the people who have signed on, and we have all the tumblers and things in-house. So we put the packages together, and I don't believe this one has a personalized letter. I think it's a generic letter. I always think it's better if it's more personalized. But then, of course, we then send this out. And this is one, we talk about the world becoming smaller. This isn't an international. So we've sent these to Africa, India, and every country imaginable. And so it provides the purpose of getting that information to their new membership. Oh, kits. It's amazing that more and more people are providing kits to people. I think, and of course, traditionally we send these out flat, and of course as people become members or whatever they're trying to accomplish. But do your clients have kits of any kind? There's a customer on the way West Coast. We actually are taking their intricate tools and we do die-cut foam, so every time there's a new product that their sales force has to go out and sell, we are actually making the sample kits for them with the die-cut foams for all their technical pieces. So it might not be a piece of your client's business that you would traditionally ask for, but I look at it this way: anywhere we can make a little money on something, why not take advantage of it? Because if you have that customer already, what other opportunities could you possibly have with them? And this might be an issue. And I know a lot of people work with the college market. We are doing more and more things. The one for Robert Morris University was actually a future alumni kit, but we do a lot of alumni kits, a lot of freshman orientation packages, a lot of things that when they get it to make that specific student feel real special. And another area we're seeing more and more is recruitment tools. You know, more of these schools, everybody wants that 4.0 student, and we see more and more people doing things to target those, and we've done a lot of things for that too. And of course, I can never say the word concierge, the sourcing survival kit. What a great tool to put all your literature in. Another big one is hospitals. For new mothers to go home, they have their the new mother survival kit. You know, because they're already getting the samples from the different people that sponsor things at the hospital. And so, and some hospitals are very creative. The kid gets a stuffed animal, they get their first book, but we put them in these cute little toolkits, you know, or survival kits for the mothers to go home. And it's a great way to get that hospital theme, and it's a positive thing for the hospitals to hand out and let the mothers know they're really there to support them with their information. This is my song and dance. Presentation is the most important aspect of any program. I guess my thought is there is a reason that retail spends as much money at times on the product as they do the promotion or the product, because they want that first impression to be so impactful that you buy the product. So I think it's kind of very similar in what we do, is you want that first impact to be so powerful for your client that their customer is sold. They're bought in to whatever it is your client's doing. So basically my whole thought process is, how is that first impact from your client going to be so powerful that you've got the hook and you've got them? And I think the other thing I always like to bring up is, what is your client doing that their competition isn't, that's going to set them apart and make them more special? And I guess the other thing we talk about is, if you're the only person that walks into that project or that client, and you're showing them how that box with that coffee mug with that letter inside can be mailed out as a cold call for $10, and that they can probably you can tell them that they're going to probably get a 15% response rate on it, that sure might be more important than the guy that walks in and says, I can get you a coffee mug for $1. So that's the thing. And as far as response rates, that is something we've actually had distributors come back to us with an 80% response rate on things. And you're talking a very targeted promotion and very captive audience. But I defy anyone to get those type of responses in any other manner, because it's just not going to happen. A number 10 envelope, unless you throw $100 in cash in there, I'm not sure how you're going to get that kind of response rate. Just to kind of let you know the things that we have available to you as far as packaging options. We do stock and custom boxes. We work with different types of corrugation, and we work with different types of chipboard. The cans, great for direct mail. They're great for handouts. We have the pop-top lids. If it's a promotion, recently we did a mailing that was it was for an energy company out of Houston, and their whole thing was it was a puzzle in a can that educated families on being aware of gas leaks or oil leaks and how to pick up on that. It was just a simple 9-piece puzzle, but it was technically focused on children in the family. So the thing is, our pop-top lids are called safety rims, but if you gave it to a 2-year-old, I'm sure they could find a way to cut themselves on it. So in that, we do have a foil peel-off lid, and you've all seen the Pringles boxes that have the foil peel-off. It's that type of lid. So there's just no way in the world someone could hurt themselves. So what we always say, it costs a few cents more. If it's for a children's project, we have to do that, because that's real important. And then we also put things in bottles and tubes. And what we're going to hit on here in a minute is some direct mail cards as well. But everything you see is incorporating the promotional product into that aspect.
Mary, Mary, there's a question from Dearborn on the screen on the left side.
Yes.
Best way to start a program off, and what's the best way to show them? And also added an additional question, what about self-promotion?
Starting with the first one, if you're familiar with our website, we do have a project photos, and it's amazing if you show them some of these things that we have on that project photo, things we've done. And like I said, it's not that we're that neat. We've just had the privilege of doing such creative things that if you show them what can be done, and then if you get them interested at that point, we'd love to send out samples. The downer is every time we do an order with USBs, we put the USB in it. Well, we ship out your USBs. We don't keep them for us. So anytime we send you a package, it won't have the insert in it. That's why the case histories we produce and the images on our website are really important. But we're more than happy to send you a box or a package that we've done that's been custom produced for us, but we just can't provide the insert. So in the situation of USBs, I'm sure you have some in your desk drawers you can throw in there, but if it is crystal or if it was a custom print glass or a wine glass, chances are you aren't going to have that exact piece. So we always say sometimes it's just, if you can take the image and take the product together, that's a great way. But the most important thing is to show them what has been done and what's been successful for other people. And like I said, the statistics are there. 15% return rate is usually the bottom line. Unless they're really bad at what they do, they're going to get much better than that. The other thing, as far as self-promotions, that's what the most fun is, because that's where you get to take an opportunity to put your personality on a project. I mean, we've had one person who said that they like to color outside the box. We actually did a crayon box, and they sent the crayon boxes out with their information inside. So it's not like it's like, okay, use this box and that's a great self-promotion. We love the opportunity to brainstorm with you and say, what is the message you want to create? We actually had someone once who did a little wind-up brain, and we did a tray on the inside box, and we put the little wind-up brain on an insert tray, and the whole thought was, let me get your brain moving. And it was so clever, and the distributor actually had print everywhere you can imagine on that box. And the same thing, like I said earlier, you look at that and think, gosh, I want to do business with this person. And that's exactly what you want to do, but you want it to be your personality so you attract your strengths. And I think that's, and as far as price, we do those at cost. My favorite story is we did a self-promotion for a distributor in the South, and it was a can mailing he did for his end user show. And because of that, we got an order for 300,000 cans for a jewelry store chain. So it works. People see it and they see, wow, this is really impactful. I want that. So anytime you have an opportunity, you just need to ask us about it. Did I take care of that, Paul?
Sounds great. Keep rolling.
Okay. Moving forward, the stock boxes, that one on the left, we, as I love to say, we make everything per order. We print the corrugated and we cut it in the box with the exception of this piece. We actually stock this in 2 sizes. So where you have pack your bags for Cancun, we can actually screen your message there. Or what a lot of people do, you guys have printers just like I do. A lot of people will print their own decals and slap the destination sticker on it to match what's on the box. We were real excited, if you remember in the day when they were doing Where in the World is Matt Lauer? They actually ordered, distributor in the East Coast ordered some that they used for the promotion, and we were so bummed. They did not print the luggage tag, and they didn't put any destination stickers on it. And as you know, we can only do as well as our customers ask us to do. It's like we're sitting there watching TV thinking, hey, they missed it. But the main thing is we can do the assembly and the fulfillment. All you need to do is send us your inserts, your logo, and a mailing list, and we can take care of the rest. The one thing that's important, because I know a lot of people use sheltered workshops, they have high school kids, they have their own people to do the assembly. I guess to look at it is we are shipping the packaging to you. So what's the freight cost involved in that, or the postage involved in that, and where are the inserts and what's the cost of it to come to us? We seem to get a lot of stuff that comes in through Long Beach, and I'm not sure why, but it seems like that ends up on our docks more than anything. But mainly is what's the best fit for your client. And if we're it, we'd love that opportunity. The other thing is if there's any printed literature that's required, we love the opportunity to at least quote that, because the other thing is if we print it, there's no freight for that to come into us, and I think we have pretty competitive pricing. But the thing is, the one thing is if there's a mailing involved and if it's a card with something attached, we're usually the best to do that, because to pay freight to get somewhere and then pay postage again, it's like you're getting hit twice with it. So main thing is get all the information, and we try to make it a menu for you so you can decide what's really the best fit for your client. Custom boxes, this kind of portrays the different options you have. The first one is a foam insert tray on the one on the white box with the hat, and I think that was a flashlight and then a medallion. If it's breakable, you need foam. The one thing to know is foam is an oil byproduct, and I don't care how much gas goes down, foam doesn't, and I can't quite figure that out. But so if you need it for a specific reason, it's a beautiful presentation. If your client has a whole lot of money to spend, we can actually put black flocking on it. So it's got that black flock look, so it looks very jewelry store look. We can do that as well. The box next to it on the right, that was something that Kemper Insurance had done, and it was actually little planters, and it was all about growing with us. And then each one had a personalized letter. But those were acrylic glasses, so there was no breakable issues. So we actually went with a corrugated insert tray. Just a point of reference, a corrugated insert tray will be 50% of the cost of a foam insert tray. And if you look at the bottom, that was a Joby, and that was just the colored shred. And we can get it in a multitude of colors. And it's a great filler. We've actually put enough filler in that we've put wine glasses in there. But what's kind of fun is you can actually match the color of the shred with the imprint on the outside of the box, or you can match it with the brochure that's going inside. So if there's a theme color of an event or something, you can tie all that together. So the most important thing is we'd love to spend every bit of their budget they have. But again, we have to work smart with it to determine what is the best fit for what your client's trying to accomplish. Cans, tubes, and bottles. The one that, again, talking about hitting a specific market very effectively, on the Sushi Society that's on the upper left-hand corner, it's a networking group that's trying to target 20 to 30-year-olds, and we're talking that young professional who has time for nothing because they are so stressed out and their time is their own. What we put inside, each one was the carrier sheet, went in the clear tube, and then they were imprinted. So on the flip side of that was the invitation. They go into a market area, find the hottest or most effective wherever all the people want to hang out. What's the local sushi bar everybody loves? And then we had custom imprinted chopsticks. And they did call after the first mailing and told us they had a 30% response rate. And you're targeting people who don't like to be bothered. So I think that just speaks volumes for that particular promotion. Then on the left-hand side, we actually did, for Taco Bell, when they started serving breakfast, it was important that every Taco Bell restaurant got that promotion on the same day. And we're talking United States, Canada, and Guam. So we had to stagger the mailings, and we actually printed all the literature that went inside, and there was a promotional piece as well. But there was a timeline, there was a menu. Basically, it was everything the people in that store needed to effectively produce the breakfast as needed. So we actually mailed those out, and again, we got everybody to the store on time. So just showing how impactful that can be. What I don't have on this is we can do the messages in the bottle. There's actually a pharmacy school that's how they let the students know that they've been accepted. It's a message, it's a plastic wine bottle, and inside is a parchment letter that says, hey, you've been accepted. It's got a lot of silver mylar inside, and that's mailed them out individually. So it's a great announcement. It's a great kickoff to an event as well. Oh, there was one year we actually, the Chest had their own Christmas party, and we invited some of our suppliers to the holiday event. And one of them actually called and said, hey, I got this in the mail. This is so cool. Tell me what's in it so I don't have to open it. And I think what that tells us is we see this stuff every day. We live and breathe promotional products. And I think after a certain point in time, we become kind of immune because we've seen it before. We've done it before. But if you think about it, every one of your customers hasn't. So something that we might think is like yesterday's news might be the brightest idea in the world to your particular client. The direct mail cards, this one on the top, again, shows the USB in it. Just so you know, we've actually done a lot more than just the USBs. We've put power chargers in there. I made one big enough that actually had a Mophie in it. We've done them with the pens. So one great case history was an insurance company, and what they did is they ordered, I think it was 80,000 of them. They sent us 80,000 very classy key tags. And so what they did, every month, we get the mailing list of the group of people whose renewal was coming up the following month. So we mailed out the cards, and basically the card said, thank you so much for your business. We so appreciate your loyalty, and please take this keychain on our behalf as an appreciation. Well, slam, the next month they get their bill. Well, my thought is, gosh, they just gave me that nice key tag. I probably shouldn't shop this out. I should remain loyal to them. So very effective way of timing to make sure that the client is appreciative of that they know you appreciate their business. And going back to that, the variable data is so important. Again, to put, hey, John, thanks so much for your business means so much more than dear sir. And then the other thing, as you'll see in the bottom, we have the little clear bubbles, and we do some of the neatest things is, what was it? Oh, gosh. Hertz had done it, that we stand out from the rest. And so it was jelly beans, and one was a different color, meaning it had their color on it. So it's just fun. And everybody likes to be entertained, and this certainly does that. Fulfillment, as you can see, I know we're running tight on time. As you can see, the bottom skid shows, yep, we ship it all out our door. The one on the left was pretty fun. It was a moving company, so the outside of the box looked like, it wasn't a moving company, it was a software that they were selling to moving companies. So we mailed out 1,000 of those to the moving companies, and of course the shred was to match the color of the print in the brochure, and we did that as close as we can. And of the upper left-hand corner, Ryder was kicking off a promotion right around football season, and again, what a great message to carry, and things that'll be totally used. Basically, what I've already been telling you, we can handle the mailing. These are just all projects that are going out the door for us, and just a big shot of the things we've done. And this is kind of what I want to finish with, the before and after. This shows what was in that box. But if you look at it, the items alone, they're nice, but the impact of putting it in that Million Mile Club and putting it in a package gives it so much more value. I've said, too, you can make a $2 T-shirt look like it's worth $10 with the right presentation. You've seen this one before, but again, the product itself and then the impact of it in the package. The cans, these are just little things, inexpensive promotional pieces. When you put in the can, what a cool package it is. The before and after, this is something, again, we do so many things that are fun for a resort type. Again, if you hit your quota, you're going to get to go to Cabo San Lucas, and I think they actually put the countdown card in there, so it told, so that it would have something there showing them how many more days till they get to go to the trip if they so achieve that level. This is a custom box we had done for Blue Anthem. Again, the blanket by itself doesn't look like much, but they certainly made it look very impactful in that box. And this is kind of what we want to tell you. It is a jungle out there, and as you can see, it's very confusing. We're all overwhelmed, but the chest can put the pieces together for you. So we'd love to be very involved. And Michelle, I don't know if you know Michelle, but she does cover the Midwest for us in customer service and sales. She's been here forever and knows a whole lot more than I do. So I'm always happy to talk to anybody if they want me, but again, Michelle is certainly at your disposal as well. So if there's any questions, anything else I can share, I'd be happy to.
Well, thank you, Mary, and thanks, everyone. If you have any questions for Mary, you can just type them into the chat box on the lower left-hand side. We'll be monitoring that. Really appreciate this informative presentation. Packaging and the ideas that you submitted are things that are near and dear to my heart. I've had a lot of successful programs over my career using them, and I found the types of things you're suggesting are especially powerful for self-promotion. When I had my company, we had about a dozen employees, and one year we put together a Thanksgiving package. It was Thanksgiving in a box, and every one of our employees wrote down a favorite recipe or a favorite tradition. We put those on a little ring card. We had a package of stuffing mix made by one of our clients that was included in there with an oven mitt and a pot holder, and just created a fun package that we sent out at Thanksgiving time, and it set us apart from all our competition, which was sending out things at Christmas time. There's a question about on 4 color pieces, asking if they supply flat sheets to you to mount and die cut. Is that the way you work?
Actually, we tried that. That doesn't work so well, because when it comes to boxes with the matrix die we have to use, we've actually had people send 50% extra, and it just doesn't. We find that you probably aren't saving any money trying to do it that way.
Okay, thanks. Like all of you to come back to Wild Wednesday webinars next month on the 25th of March. We have Candy Cummings from Phi Promotions. She's going to be speaking on Get Well, the opportunities in the wellness market. And we've got a great lineup planned for 2015. Almost every month is already filled up. We've got Roger Burnett speaking. We've got John Bates from Poly Concept, who's going to be speaking on mobile advertising. Our good friend Cliff Quicksell on 10 things that your clients want from a promotional products distributor. Charity Gibson, a rising star in the industry, along with Matt Kaspari, are going to be in the lineup, as well as Catherine Graham speaking on time management, which we hear from a lot of you is important to all of you. So mark down the 25th of March for Candy Cummings and Phi. Those of you in Michigan on the 18th, we still have about 3 seats left for our luncheon at Meriwether's in Southfield on the 18th, and we'll soon be opening up registration for the Luncheon with the Stars on the 23rd in Troy at the Granite City. Grand Rapids people that are on the call, get ready for your very first end user show. Ideas in Bloom in August is going end user, and it's going to be exciting, and we're going to have a lot of great information coming forward for all of you in that. Everyone else, as you log out, please fill out the survey. If you've got a PIN number, I'll be happy to submit your information to PPAI so that you get CAS credits for today. And once again, Mary, thank you so much for being with us. And to all of you, thanks for attending today's Wild Wednesday webinar. Thank you.
My
Bye-bye.
privilege, and thank you very much.
Talk to you later, Mary.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.